Hello, everyone. I'm Juanica, also known as Miss Astrology, and this is Tarot Talk. In these sessions, I highlight a tarot card or a tarot spread that I think will give you more insight into understanding tarot for yourself. So, in today's Tarot Talk and in celebration of Virgo season, in today's Tarot Talk and in celebration of Virgo season and the upcoming Virgo new moon, we will be discussing the Hermit card. The Hermit card does represent the Virgo archetype. So I'm going to use the Rider-Waite deck. This is the traditional tarot deck. And the reason that I use this deck is because anybody that is wanting to understand tarot, this is the basics. This is where you should start. Any book, any video, anyone that you try to learn from is going to teach you from the traditional Rider-Waite deck. However, when I do my personal readings and I read for the collective, I do use the Modern Witch Tarot deck, and that is simply because this is the deck that I have bonded with. So I learned tarot with some pretty traditional decks, and then I bonded with the Modern Witch deck. And I'm going to also show you that card here as well, because that deck is very similar to the Rider-Waite deck, which was important to me in tarot, but it's just modern, like its name. So, okay, let's get to the card. The Hermit card. So this is the Hermit. It is number 9 of the major arcana in the tarot. And the Hermit card does represent the archetype or the sign of Virgo. If you look at this, I mean, the first thing that really jumps out to me is this card is gray. The gray cloak, the kind of gray in the background. In the tarot, and the main thing to understand about tarot is you really want to pay attention to symbols and symbolism. Tarot is really imagery that tells a story. So you start to pay attention to what the colors are going to mean. That's pretty consistent throughout the entire deck. And so gray is really neutral, really standing in between. And if you look at this hermit, he is what seems to be standing on a iced mountain top. The white and even the white in his beard, this indicates in the tarot always spirituality, a spiritual intuitive connection or message whenever you see the white. So really what this card is representing is somebody that is really in a neutral place. And as you see, he's alone. And based on his image, he's looking down, right? It seems like he's looking down. And so he's in this elevated place alone, very neutral, but very able to be alone. You see this star here. This star is really representing enlightenment, a higher perspective. And if you see that not only is he holding a higher perspective, but he's actually presenting it to whomever is below, whomever he seems to be looking downwards to or looking upon. And this white also indicates some not only spiritual, but with it being his beard and his hair, this is wisdom. This is his own spiritual insight, his own intuition, and being an intuition that is harnessed by itself. He's obviously alone. He's named the Hermit. He's above all these others, standing on the ice-capped mountains, shining his light down onto others with his staff of protection and guidance, again, kind of glowing, really radiating light, enlightenment unto others. When you get the Hermit in a reading, what this really does indicate is a time to really go inward and be neutral, to really find enlightenment in what you are learning in your alone time, in your neutral space where you're not taking in a lot of information. We got to think this is Virgo's card. Virgo is consistently processing information. So this is about getting to a place where you're not processing information. You're able to stay neutral, and you're able to even maybe pour information out, enlighten others, get this information out. Maybe you don't share it with others, but you write it down. With Virgo being a Mercury ruled sign, you express it, you get some enlightenment out of you. Some of all of this information that you've taken in, now you spend some alone time to see how you can process that to actually enlighten others. That is really what this shows up here. Now I'm going to bring in the Modern Witch deck card. Just to kind of show you the same. The one thing that I like about this one that's a lot different, two things actually point out to me or jump out to me. One is that this is a laptop. And so a lot of times what this will indicate when it comes up in a reading is that we really need to cut off from all of society's information, all of the internet, websites, news, all of that. We can get so much information on the internet. And she's putting this down and she's walking away from it. This is the other thing. Like, even though she's putting it down, you can tell that she's really going to be heading back and leaving away from it. And she's wise. She's been enlightened. She's spiritual, but now she just needs to spend that alone time. And you see with this star, this is the same star that he has here. She is enlightened. She's got that white hair. She is wise. She's still got this gray cloak to where she needs to have herself in that neutral place. It's like she's put this on, this cloak, to cover herself, to allow herself to be in that neutral place. In this deck, these windows here kind of seem more religious. And I think this is really just the spirituality and the spiritual element of it. When I think about the 9, being the ninth sign. Now that's Sagittarius' sign, which does tend to be a sign of higher wisdom and higher knowledge, and actually does make a square to Virgo, which is a tense energy. And I think this is just really saying, really tap in, go deeper, go within, go by yourself so that you can get to that place of the 9s, which is really a higher perspective, a higher spirituality, a higher consciousness, your higher self, really. So when you see the Hermit in a reading, it can be an indication of a time to go within, to cut off all the information that you've been receiving and allow yourselves to process it so you can see how you're going to filter it back out into the world, giving it to others, being the light and the gift that you are. Because you do have to also remember, Virgo is the sign of health and wellness, as well as a sign of service to other people. So it's healthy for us to disconnect sometimes, to go into this alone time atop the mountain where it's lonely and it's isolated, so that you can process all this information, get some peace, your balance, your equilibrium, and then continue to offer service to others and pour your light back onto them. So I hope that helps you understand more of the Hermit card. If you guys have any cards in particular that you're interested in getting to know better, or anything that you'd like to know more specifically about tarot, just remember, you got to give me input, guys. Let me know what you want to learn, and I'm definitely up for teaching it. We will go more in depth in tarot with the whole deck and pulling out the major arcanas, going through the suits, the whole journey of the tarot. That's part of the Keep Me Up tier, though. So you can look for some of these videos. I'll have them as we go throughout the season, and I hope this really helped. And until next time,